In this video, we will see how to create a user who can access our environment, Framework360, which could be, for example, a collaborator or an employee of our company. First of all, we clearly enter our environment, then we go to the option Settings on the bottom left. We will find Tie Users and Permissions. We click. Here, a menu will open showing roles and permissions, or users. To create indeed a new user, we need to click on Users. At the top right, we will find the Add button. This is the screen to add a new user who can access our environment. Framework360. We will only need to enter the first name, last name, and email, which are mandatory, of our collaborator or employee, or even our client, if they need to clearly access their website to manage its content. Name. For example, let's write Mario. Yes, mario@gmail.com. Yeah, okay. We just need to move to the Login and Permissions tab. We can leave everything else unchanged because the user can easily modify it once they log into their account. As a level, we already find the admin role created. This block will practically have the ability to manage everything. If we want to create custom roles, we will need to look into roles and permissions and tailor them for the user we want to grant access to the environment. We can easily select admin. As we can see, the other options disappear. By selecting admin, we could ensure that the user is already active, so they can already enter the environment without needing to confirm their email. Otherwise, as soon as we enter a default password created specifically for our user, they will receive an email asking them to confirm the validity of the email we have entered. In this case, we can set it randomly. And we can also mark the email as confirmed. By doing so, we just need to tell our collaborator or client to access the environment through the link we use to access it. And we can always see it under Settings, Configuration, Domains, down here. In this case, it's called this way, and it always has the extension .myframework360.it. Alternatively, you can also access the back office through the main domain link. In this case, it's always a subdomain, but we can also use our customized one. Let's pretend it's hotelrosa.it and add our church admin at the end. By doing so, Framework360 will take us to the login of our environment. If we want to create customized roles for our collaborators, to modify the menu, they can view, we just need to go inside Settings, Users, and Permissions, and then Roles and Permissions. Here, we can always click Add at the top to create a new role. In this case, we can call it External Collaborator. We can enter a description, for example, non-employee collaborators. This way, we can recognize them, and within the Permissions tab, we can modify the sidebar that they will see once they enter the environment. Consequently, here in the summary, for example, we can leave it, we might want to prevent the external collaborator from seeing the client list, so we can drag clients below. Unused items. We could also drag sales. Maybe we don't want external collaborators to see our sales. We could possibly leave only the website and maybe also the web tracking module, so they can track everything that happens on the website. Okay, how can we see this role? Called external collaborator, they will should only have the ability to manage the item. Website, which clearly includes all the website management pages and will have the ability to manage web tracking as well. We could add dividers. For example, here we can insert site management, which will divide the sections as we want, and it will be a fundamentally non-clickable label. This can be done inside Add Content. Furthermore, we could limit the display of dashboard widgets, as we can clearly see. The admin sees everything, while the external collaborator can avoid seeing sales and customers and can also only view site information and recent events. We can also remove recent events. Here we can set a read-only mode, which means that, in this case, those assigned the external collaborator role will not be able to modify the data in our environment, but will only be able to view it. This is very important if we want, for example, an external collaborator to potentially see customer records, but not be able to modify their data. Here, we can also allow collaborators with this role to view all records, meaning all, for example, global customer records entered in the environment, or only their own. In this case, for example, it could be very useful for salespeople. Salespeople who have certain assigned areas might need to view only their own customer records and not the customer records of salespeople from other areas. And perhaps the area manager could view all of them. The same thing can also be done with the web tracking module for sales. In this case, for example, if there is a salesperson who needs to see only their own sales, you will need to select View Only Your Own Records. Meanwhile, for instance, the area manager might need to view the records of all the salespeople they manage. We can save, and if we now change the role of the user we previously created from admin to external collaborator, we will see that if we log out and log in with the credentials we entered for the new collaborator, we will see that the collaborator, once logged in, will only have the option to manage the website. In this case, they will not see any widgets on the dashboard because we decided to limit their visibility in the role settings. However, they will still be able to manage the website, manage web tracking, and see the custom label we assigned to them. If instead we change from external collaborator to admin, save, we will see that again, by logging out and logging in with our collaborators' credentials, they will now have full visibility as a system administrator